Hi, this is Lady T, the business coach for moms. I'm here in Texas where I just completed a seminar with over 80 women. And whenever I have a group of women, and in this case it was team leads and managers, I always have someone who will make the statement, I'd rather work with a bunch of men than work with women. And then inevitably someone else in the room will nod their heads, and then eventually I have a room full of women who are shaking their heads saying, yes, I prefer to work with all men than women as well. That always fascinates me, and I always turn that question back over to them and I say, ladies, how pathetic. Because the men feel the exact same way. When I do seminars with men, they say the same thing. They'd rather work with all men as well. So what kind of sad, sadistic, self-hating female energy do we have going on in our workplaces? How pathetic is that? And what I always say to them, what I'm saying even to you is, stop hating women. Because in the end, when it all boils down to it, it's going to be a woman who takes care of you. I just had a woman to show up, for example, show up at my house not too long ago, who was out of luck. She had 2 children. She was a divorced parent, and she had no place to go. She had no car. It was spring break, so fortunately her children were to be with their dad that week. She showed up at my door saying, I have 1 week in order to get us a place to live and get a car. What had happened was when she divorced, the judge ordered alimony for 3 years and child support, assuming that because she was educated, she should be able to support herself in 3 years. She thought so too. Well, the alimony 3-year time period passed, and she hadn't yet found a job that allowed them to live an okay lifestyle. And the child support checks were coming in sporadically late, 2 days late, 1 week late, 4 weeks late. And so that eventually helped her to get behind on her rent. Eventually, the landlord told her she had to go because she was behind too often. Well, she ended up staying with a friend, a female friend, by the way. And when she stayed with the friend was happy with her for a couple of months. And then the friend's mother got sick, and she had to then allow her mother to move in. Well, when her mother moved in, of course, that meant my friend and her 2 children had to move out. So she used her savings and went and stayed at a hotel. While they were there at the hotel, she had car problems. The car problems meant that she had to get the car fixed. There was several $100s. Well, she had to use her savings, the rest of her savings, to pay for the car to get fixed. And in the meantime, she also got behind on her car note because she was trying to take care of the car. And so, of course, getting behind on your car note, that means they come and pick it up. So once the car was fixed, they eventually came and repoed the car. So that's when she showed up at my door without a place to stay, without any more leftover money, any more savings, and with no car. And so what do? We just went into action to make things change for her. In the meantime, the men in our lives, the men said things like, well, why don't you just take him to court and make sure that he pays his child support on time? Well, in order to go to court, that means that you have to dang on have money to give an attorney. She called her father-in-law, and the father-in-law said, well, I talked to my son. He doesn't know anything about it. He says you're lying. Her answer was, father-in-law, why would I call you and then lie to you about this horrible situation that I'm in? Some other guy said, well, I can't let her use my wife's car because she's not on our insurance policy, and if she has an accident, then that just destroys our car. The men had their suggestions and their situations that they fed to us, but the women, we're the ones who called our network. We're the ones who made the phone calls and called someone else and found her a place and put down some money. The women are the ones who picked up her children and dropped them off to the different places they needed to go because the father still had to go to work even though they were with him for spring break. It was the women who prayed with her. It was the women who sat down with her and went over her finances and mapped out a plan for her future. It was the women who made things happen. My point, stop hating women. Because in the end, it's going to be a woman who takes care of you. So if you don't have relationships with women, you need to get some. You need to get relationships, get 2 or 3 women that you can count on, trust, that you're great friends, because that is what we need. We nurture and take care of the 2 genders, and we take care of ourselves. And so if we're hating ourselves and the men don't like us either, then what are we doing? What are we doing? So that means, and I don't know how to solve this problem. I don't know what to suggest other than to say, you got to have compassion for your sister. You must have. What if she's just as hurt as you are? That's the reason why she has the attitude. That's the reason why she goes off so easily. What if she's just as hurt as you are? She's been hurt as well. What if she can't get over it? Because I know some people are thinking, oh, she just needs to get over it. What if she can't get over it? Like there were some things you couldn't get over for a long time. What if she doesn't know how to handle her emotions? Because that's the other thing. Women are so emotional. They're just so emotional. Okay, what if she hasn't learned how to handle her emotions? Like most of us haven't been taught or trained on how to handle our emotions. What if you give her grace like you're hoping someone will give you grace? Have grace, have compassion, show some love. And we all have to work at developing better relationships with each other for the sake of the world. This is Lady T reminding you that an empowered mom, an empowered woman affects generations. So